Hello, and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. Today, of course, we will be reading out of the Old King James Bible. Okay? Be reading from the Old Testament and from the New Testament to the law and to the testimony. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay? Also, be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title. Take heed to what you speak and do in the eyes of the Lord, because for God is watching. Take heed to what you speak and do in the eyes of the Lord, for God is watching. Tell you something, He is watching us. Okay, I'm gonna share these scriptures with you right quick here. You can jot them down if you like. But yeah, we went over this lesson before, but it's been a while. So, people have a tendency to forget. So we're going to do it again. Okay. And hopefully you get some understanding and take heed to these things, to these scriptures, because I'll tell you something, the Lord is sitting on high. And believe you me, He is watching. The Lord say He looked down from heaven and He watches men. Okay. And not only that, he got those cherub angels down here on this earth and an innumerable amount of angels, cherub angels. And I'm gonna tell you something. You go on your own sometime, excuse me, go and read in what is it, Ezekiel first chapter, I believe it is. They tell you what those angels look like. They tell you they have four faces, they got six wings, and they got eyes all over those wings, and they see everything. They don't miss nothing. And believe you me, oh, they report back to the Lord. Okay, but then again, too, I say the Lord's looking down as well. Okay, but I'm gonna stop sharing these, and we're gonna go over these scriptures right quick here, see if we can get a tad bit understanding on this thing. Because I'm gonna tell you something, we're gonna have to take heed to what we do and what we say, because you don't want the Lord to get angry with you. Okay, you do out against those commandments, you get you. Okay. But we're gonna start this in let's start this in Proverbs. Proverbs, the 15th chapter, and I'm gonna read one verse, verse 3. And it reads, The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. See that? I'm gonna say the eyes of the Lord are in every place. He's seeing everything. Okay. He's looking down from heaven and he got those cherub angels down here. I'm gonna tell you something else too. Hey, those evil angels is down here too. And what they doing? They walking to and fro and up and down in the earth, seeking whom they may devour. All right, because they are mad, they are peeved, okay? And they'll get in your ear, man, and whisper things and got you doing things that you ought not to be doing. All right. But let's go a little further here. Let's go. We're still in Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs, the 5th chapter. I want to show you this here. Going to Proverbs 5, and I'm going to start reading at verse 21. And it reads, For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. See that? Verse 22, his own iniquity, your own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. Okay? You won't take an account for it, right? But let's see. Verse 23. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. But I'm gonna tell you something. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, and he ponder your ways. Everybody, okay? Now, let's go a little bit further here. Let's go over here to let's go to Ecclesiastes. I want to show you something here. Going to Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter. And let's see, Ecclesiastes 5, and I'm start reading at verse 1, and it reads, Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. You go, if you're keeping the Lord's Sabbath day, you're going to church, hey, they watch what you say. Let your words be few. Let's see. Verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let thine heart, your mind be, let not your mind, your heart, be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Okay. You go there, you going to church, you going to church to learn the word of God. You ain't even going there to be running your mouth, talking about this person, talking about that person, and doing all manner of stuff in front of the Lord. I'll tell you something, he's watching. All right, verse 6. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Watch what you say now. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice? See that? And destroy the work of thine hands. Okay? So be careful how we use this tongue of ours. Okay? Let's go further. Let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms. Let's see. On the Psalms 33. Take a quick look at this here. Let's see. Psalms 33. And I'm going to start reading at let's see, verse 13. And it reads, the Lord looketh from heaven, he beholdeth all the sons of men. See? Hey, everything we done read so far is showing you that the Lord is watching. All right, verse 14. From the place of his habitation, he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. See? You can't hide from this God. Do all you can. Think you're doing stuff in the dark. Lord see you. All right. Let's go further. Let's go over here to let's go to Ezekiel right quick. Going to Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. I'll show you this. Let's see. Going to Ezekiel 8, and I'm going to start reading at verse 12. And it reads, then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man, you can't hide from them in the dark, okay? Every man in the chambers of his imagery, for they say, listen to this, for they say the Lord seeth us not. The Lord has forsaken the earth. You think the Lord don't see? You keep thinking that. Verse 13, he said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. And let's go see look at what they serve. And look at this, verse 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was towards the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for tomorrow. Ain't that something? Verse 15. Then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abomination than these. Verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, or 25 men standing there, with their backs towards the temple of the Lord and their faces towards the east, and they worship the sun towards the east. Look at that. Now, what are you doing on Easter Sunday morning? You're going in there, your churches, and you're going out early in the morning having sunrise service. What are you doing? What are you serving? What are you worshiping? Hmm? Okay, on Sunday, day of the sun worshipers. Get away from that. I'm telling you. All right, let's go further. Let's go over here to St. John, because I'm gonna tell you something. You're doing all that stuff in front of the Lord. I'm gonna tell you something. He see you, and then and you can count all that is sin, man. I'm tell you. You sin before God and you break his commandments and you doing all manner of stuff. Tell you something, man. He will not tolerate it. Going to I'm in Matthew. I'm going to St. John. I'm over in Matthew. Let's go to St. John, the 9th chapter. Read one verse right here and show you this here. This is St. John 9, and I'll read one verse, verse 31. And it reads, Now we know, now we know that God heareth not sinners. Okay, but if any man be worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth. But what do he say here? He don't hear sinners. You doing all that minor stuff, thinking you getting away from it, think the Lord ain't watching. Hey, committing all those sins, breaking his commandments. Tell you something, man. The Lord ain't hearing you. You get on your knees and try and pray and wonder why the Lord ain't answering your prayer. Look at what you're doing. All right. But let's go a little further here. Let's go to Isaiah right quick. Let's go to Isaiah 59. I'm gonna start reading at verse 1. And look at this. And it reads, Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. Don't think for a minute the Lord can't hear, but sins. Look at this. Verse 2. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear. See that? Gotta be careful what you do and what you say, because God is watching. All right. But let's go over here to let's go to the new book right quick again. Let's go to let's see, let's go to James right quick. Let me show you this here. Oh, going to James, the fourth chapter. James 4. And I'm gonna read one verse here. Let's see. James 4. And I'm gonna read one verse, verse 10, and it reads, and this is what we gotta do. And it reads, Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Okay, so that's what we got to do. We got to humble ourselves before this God. I'm gonna tell you something, man. People do not know the God of this Bible. You don't want to play with this God. Okay, we should continually have praise coming out of our mouth, man. Praising Him for all the things that we do. I mean, look at it. He put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on your table, give you good health and strength. Man, we ought to always be praising this God, okay? And we got to learn to fear him because he's watching you. All right. But let's go right here. Let's go to James, the third chapter, right quick. On James 3, and I'm going to read one verse here. Verse 6, and it reads, because you got to watch that mouth of yours. All right. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members that it defileth the whole body. Okay. And sitteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. This tongue is a powerful member, y'all. We got to control it. We got to watch what we say because God is listening and he is watching. Okay. But let's go to one more place here. Let's go to Matthew's right quick. On to Matthew's 12. Matthew's 12th chapter. Let's see. Matthew's 12, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 34. And it reads, O generation of vipers, how can ye? Now, this is in red right here. Let me tell you this. This is in red. That means this is Jesus speaking himself. Okay, so listen close. O generation of vipers, how can ye be an evil? Speak good things, for out of the abundance of the heart, abundance of your mind, the mouth speaketh. Okay, verse 35. A good man out of a good treasure, out of the good Let's see, a good man out of the good treasure of the heart of the mind bringeth forth good things. And an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. Verse 36. But I say unto you, it's the Lord saying this, okay, that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. Okay? So you doing all this stuff now, and you speaking all that guile, all them terrible things about people, putting your tongue on people, and you seeing ain't nothing happen to you now. Hey, what do he say right here? Day of judgment. It is coming. All right, verse 37. I'm sorry, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So we have got to watch what we say and what we do because the Lord is watching and taking names. Okay? So With that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.